Hello.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Sports Med Bros podcast, a special Friday afternoon happy hour
A little
edition.
matinee. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do. Not often we have sunlight behind us, but here we are. It is 1:23:26. This is episode 60. My name is Aaron Borgman. As always, I am joined by my good friend and co-host, Evan Kraft. Ev, how are you doing?
You know what? It's cold as shit here in Indiana, but I will say I am very, very happy right now because our Indiana Hoosiers are national
Our
champions in football, Aaron, not
football.
basketball, football.
Football.
The buzz around here has been amazing. Everybody's all in on the Hoosiers. It's pretty cool. It's great because, Notre Dame hasn't won a national championship in football in 35 years and
Yeah.
Purdue's never won anything. So,
Okay.
so, so we're all in on the Hoosiers. Monday night it had me reminiscing a lot of on Super Bowls and how glorious that occasion was. So
You've won a Super Bowl in that building.
in Miami, yeah.
You've
So it,
also had a grade 3 ankle sprain in that building.
yes, I have running off the field, 2014. Yes, yeah, back when it was Pro Player Stadium. I
That's
don't even
right.
know what it was
Yeah.
called. Was it
Yeah.
Pro Player then?
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So before the renovation,
Uh-huh.
ankle sprain, but
Mhm.
a lot of good memories from there. So it tugged at the heartstrings a little bit to see them win that in the fashion that they did. So
Yeah, I mean, what a great
kudos to
story. What a
yeah,
great story.
kudos to Kurt Signetti. I mean, that guy is
What
just an
man?
icon of a head
I
coach.
mean, you're never going to have to buy a thing again in Bloomington ever for the rest of his
No,
life, no matter
no,
what he does after
no,
that. I
no.
did hear this week that he got a lifetime supply of the beer that he shouted
Hoosier
out
beer.
from
Yeah.
Hoosier. What's the brewery name of?
Upland
Upland Brewery. There
Brewery
you
in
go. That's
Bloomington,
cool.
Indiana.
But
Yep.
listen, that's fantastic, and I thought it was a great story on a little bit lesser scale, although not any less important. Team that I support, the St. Louis Billikens. We've had Katie on from SLU Athletic Training in the past with the
Yeah.
Oklahoma boys as well. They got ranked this week. They're in the top 25. That's a big accomplishment for our teams.
Yep.
So we got a lot of love going around here
Oh
recently,
yeah.
and I am going to be the first one to put this out there. There may be a podcast bump, Ev. Those who come on the Sports Med Bros may, in fact, receive, glad tidings their way, promotions, things of that nature, because we had not one this week, but two individuals move on to bigger and better things and or promotions, Ev.
Yeah.
Mike Montgomery, formerly of the New Orleans Pelicans, has taken the head football sports medicine job at his alma mater, University of Iowa State. You are also a cloner, a graduate of the program.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
shout out to Mikey.
Couldn't be
He
prouder of that young man
he's going to
for
do
what
great.
he's done. I got to see him last Friday night at a Pacer game, one of his last few games in the NBA, and we got to sit down and talk about his next move. So super happy for the kid.
Couldn't
Obviously,
happen to a better guy.
yeah, you and I have known him for a long time. He kind of grew up in our system, in the Iowa State system, and we so to speak groomed him. I don't know if we want to say that on here, but
That is Evan at Sports Med Bros.
yes, yeah, yeah. So I'm super proud of the kid. I'm glad that he's doing something he
Yeah.
loves and chasing that dream,
And
and
he gets to go
that's
home.
just yeah, and he gets to go home. I mean,
So what more do you need?
what a better story,
Um,
So
Also, but not any lesser of considerations, friend of the program, Mitch Toda
yeah,
of the
Mitch.
new North Carolina Courage has been promoted in his role. If you guys don't remember Mitch, he was on our program with the PSATs collaboration where we had a bunch of different guys on from PSATs, and he was part of that. So, Ev, I think the take home message here is that if you come on the podcast, something good will happen to you.
I agree. I
I
agree
mean,
100%.
you may not win the lottery, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
professionally, we're rolling now, man, in
Yeah.
2026.
Hey, you know what? Nothing good has happened professionally to us, I don't think, and we're the hosts.
Yet.
But if you come on as a guest, we're hoping something goes your way. I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
it can't go wrong.
It can't get
So
any lower, right?
yeah, it can't get
Like
any
we're not going to
lower.
bring you coming on will not bring you down. The people just
Exactly.
wonder what the hell you're doing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well,
Yep.
let's get to some injuries here real quick.
Yeah,
A
let's
shout out
go.
to all those guys. Ev, since we've last met, it's been 12, 13 days, something like that. The NFL playoffs are obviously in full swing, but kind of winding down, right? We're on to the
Championship
championship
weekend.
round in
Yep.
2 days. The divisional round happened last week. And Ev, even there were injuries galore. And we're not talking about simple stuff. We're talking about catastrophic season enders.
Yeah.
Everything at this point in time is kind of a season ender, to be honest with you. But we're talking surgery. We're talking long time out. We're going to start off with Tremaine Edmonds. I don't know if you saw this injury. I clipped the little picture. He
Yeah.
broke his ankle. This is a linebacker for the Bears. That classic tib fib fracture, the way it appeared, kind of
Yep.
the thing where the ankle goes the wrong direction and no one likes the way that it looks. Unfortunately, that happened in the Green Bay playoff game at home. That gentleman will be facing surgery, I would imagine, and probably timeline says that he'll make a full recovery in time for the
Yeah.
season. I don't think that we can say like he's in trouble of missing the season, but you never know. Probably should be okay for the start. We're going to be looking after that one, dude. In the Jaguars Buffalo game.
Yeah.
Two Buffalo wide receivers went down with ACLs, Ev.
Yeah.
Tyrell Shavers and Gabe Davis. And the thing that I wanted to bring your attention to is Tyrell Shavers actually tore his ACL and then played 21 snaps on
Oh my
it
gosh.
before
I did not
coming
know
out.
that. Yeah.
And they traced it back. He thought he felt something, continued to play, then afterwards realized like, hey, I can't do this anymore. Went over, torn ACL. Now maybe he did it partially. There's no way to know that, obviously,
Yeah.
but they traced it back to a certain play where he twisted, felt the kind of a shift and a pop, and he kept going.
Yeah.
So kudos to him on that. Listen, two people at the same position in the same game, that's obviously just going to kill your chances at that
Yeah.
position, especially in a high flying offense like Buffalo, where they're interchanging parts. And I mean, you and I have both been a part of games where a position is depleted with
Yeah.
injuries, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
what that does is that not only kills that position, but probably special teams, right?
Yeah.
It limits your playbook if you're on offense and to some extent defense too, less so. But my goodness, two players at wide receiver in this, and these guys were playing serious minutes for them
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So
21 plays or 20 plays after a torn ACL.
it's
That's a
something.
lot of adrenaline,
Yeah.
you know.
Unfortunately, Seattle running back Zach Charbonnet also tore his ACL in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Um, you know, uh, Listen, that kid is a stud. They had kind of a thunder and lightning thing going on in their backfield, so you wonder how that affects their play calling and their team's overall performance. And they're kind of on a high right now, so it'd be curious to watch the game on Sunday and see how that turns out. These are the individuals now that we're getting way, way deep that you can almost probably pencil in, not pen, but pencil in that these individuals are going to be on PUP to start next
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
If
Unfortunately.
if nothing for their own safety, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, this deep in the year, as deep as the NFL playoffs go, and then Super Bowl, um, conference championship, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Like something happens then, catastrophic, then you're looking at, oh, okay, we're gonna probably miss a good amount of training camp, and
Yeah.
then depending on the PEP situation, a good
Well,
amount or a good chunk of the first amount of the season. So
and especially given that these are dynamic positions, right? These aren't
yeah,
offensive
yeah,
and defensive linemen. No offense to our O line and D line brethren, but they are likely going to come back a little bit quicker just because of the nature of the position. Well,
yep.
we're going to stick to ACLs, but move sports. Ev, one of your favorite players of all time in the NBA, Jimmy Butler,
I love Jimmy.
unfortunately. Unfortunately, at 37, I believe 37 years old, he has torn his ACL as well.
Oh man,
And you and I have both kind of talked about ACL or excuse me, catastrophic injuries in the NBA recently and how they take a prolonged time to come back versus other sports. So you kind of have to wonder. I mean, Jimmy Butler's been in the league forever. This time he's playing with the Golden State Warriors, right? But you kind of have to
yeah,
wonder at 37, we're looking at probably a guaranteed 10 to 12 months for an
yeah,
NBA player. Are we looking to come back? I mean, he's made more money than he can count, obviously, but that's going to be a kind of a factor. And does he want to go out
yeah,
like that? I mean,
yeah,
you just don't see that many players playing at an advanced age in the NBA anymore. I mean, they're obviously out there, but I don't know. That'd be a tough one. What do you think?
That's gonna be a slow play all the
Yeah,
way. I don't know what his contract situation is there, but I guarantee that's going to be a slow play for him.
I just
He's so late in his career. You know, Golden State, whatever I'm not sure what their chances. I mean, playoffs are obviously out of the question.
sure.
So, um, I mean, does he get back in there and make a push mid-season next year?
I mean,
We'll
you'd have to
see.
think 2027 is the floor, right?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
I mean,
We
I
need a
don't
guy
think this
like that.
player's playing next fall.
No, no, not a
But
chance. Yep.
okay, we're going to shift back to the NFL here real quickly, and we're going to talk about two hotbed issues that are coming up this week. One, a little bit more certainty, one, not a certainty. Listen, you and I were ingrained not to, have good feelings for this team, but let's talk about the Denver Broncos right now, Ev.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. Yeah.
Bo Nix, if you haven't seen it, unfortunately broke his ankle at the very, very end of the Denver Buffalo game. Now, if anybody has seen the play that supposedly happened, that Sean Payton, the head coach of the Denver Broncos, pointed out that he did it on, Ev, it is very innocuous.
Yeah.
Um, and that leads you to believe that it happened somewhere before that, partially. Was there something where he felt earlier and then he felt it again? I mean, this play was such a kind of a nothing burger,
Yeah.
right? Got to go by what the head coach is reporting,
Yeah.
obviously. The interesting part is the player did this, popped right up. It was even dabbing guys up on the field after the game, walking around saying congratulations, thank you, the whole 9 yards. And then half an hour after the game's over, we get this notification from the head coach that he's out and having surgery this week. Now,
Yeah.
we did not see any confirmation of surgery this week. You gave me updated information right before we came on to record. Hit me.
Yeah. Secondhand that he was doubtful.
Okay.
Now I haven't seen a true. I haven't seen a true injury report from the Broncos, so I don't know if that's 100% accurate. Secondhand, I've heard he was doubtful.
Yeah.
With something like this in this big of a stage, with this big of a game, with that position, I don't know if you limit that player to going to surgery right away, um, because of the stakes. Now, from a safety perspective, if it's the fibula upholds 1/6 of your body weight.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. What are the
Like,
possibilities that it could be given what we saw him walk off the field with? It's got to be a
it's
fibula,
got to
right?
be a fibula. If it's more than that, then
I
I
mean,
mean, put it
he's
on us. Put it on us if it's more than
sure,
that. You know.
but
Um,
I mean, you're not walking off the field with a fractured tibia.
yeah,
You're not
yeah,
walking off the field with a fractured talus
yeah,
or
yeah.
calcaneus, right? Like,
Exactly.
I
I
mean,
got to think that
I'm
maybe
just looking
there's
at the
more.
injury report here. I don't see him, but I'll keep talking. I'm looking.
Yeah, I think there's more to the story there that we don't know. And if it's more than that, then that's on us. If not, I'm of the opinion I got my franchise quarterback. We're playing in the AFC Championship with a shot at going to the Super Bowl. I'm taping that sucker up as much as you
Mm.
can and letting him see what he can do. I mean, let him practice at least that
And
week, right?
and
You're
to
not going to
your
put him in a position that he's unsafe in practice. If he can get through practice, maybe we make him questionable for the game on Sunday. And then if he can't go, he can't go. But there's not a lot of stuff in that area, in my
Mhm.
opinion, that's going to warrant risking his career down the line. Honestly, I mean, from a surgery standpoint, like, okay, if he tears his deltoid, if he gets a high ankle sprain, okay, we're putting tight ropes in three
And
to
none of
six
that is
months.
affected by 2 or 3 more weeks of play.
Exactly. We're putting tight ropes in. Maybe we're putting tight ropes in after the AFC Championship and trying to get him ready for the Super Bowl. I mean,
Well,
honestly,
it's funny that you say that because this is today's injury report. This is Friday, January 23rd. Obviously, he did not practice all week, but he is listed officially now as out. But
okay.
interestingly, there's been no announcement about surgery. There's been no announcement about IR, so they can
Yeah.
replace him on the roster spot. So perhaps they're seeing, like, hey, look, if we get through this, how bad is it? Could he play in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That's an interesting set of circumstances.
Yeah. So if he's on IR, he's done. If
Right.
he's
He
not
wouldn't
on
be on the
IR,
injury report.
yeah, if he's not on IR, then the window's open
And
for
you would think in this situation, sometimes there's some gamesmanship with that kind of stuff during the
yeah,
season that they wait to put you on IR to the Saturday before the game. But you would think, given the game is this important, that they would do that to bring somebody up on the roster.
yeah,
Who
exactly.
knows? Maybe we're off base. I don't know. It just seems like there's something not completely adding up here, but what do we know, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Interesting set of circumstances. Now, if he doesn't go on IR tomorrow or Sunday before the game, I think you have to make the move tomorrow if you're going to make it
yeah,
for the player to come up. But if he doesn't go on IR tomorrow, then you know they might be trying to save him for the Super Bowl in a couple weeks.
yeah,
So,
yep, exactly.
same team, different position. Ev J.K. Dobbins, he has a Liz Frank injury, and initially in Week 10 we talked about it. It was reported that it was season ending. And I guess at some point in time, they decided that they were going to update that status and potentially try to get him through. Now, as you well know, and as we have talked about, Liz Frank injuries are very, very tricky to rehab. Mitch
Yep.
Moore's friend of the program, we talked about his when he was on, and this is a much more dynamic position than that. No offense,
Yeah,
Mitch, if you're listening. But that being said, a Liz Frank sprain in a running back, he has been practicing. His window has opened. They are trying to see how he does and goes. You got to believe that even if he plays at any extent in this weekend's game, that he's not 100%, but is he good enough, right?
yeah,
That's the question they're asking. And is, you know, a 75, 80% J.K. Dobbins better than the next guy? I believe his name is Harvey on the
yeah,
roster. Even if it's just for a couple of reps, I don't know. That's a decision for the coaching staff to decide. But the one reason I wanted to put it on here is you and I always talk about our job is never to tell somebody if somebody should or shouldn't play from a scheme or something like that standpoint. Our job is always to let them know if they are safe or
yeah,
not to
yeah,
play, right?
yeah,
And I tell parents and athletes and pro guys all the time, look, we got to decide if you're safe. Then we got to decide if the coaching staff thinks that you can do your job.
yeah,
Do you look the part, right? Then you have the play. You being the player has to decide if you can do the things and you feel good enough about it. If any one of those things does not check a box, then the whole thing's off, right?
yeah, yep,
And so that whole system has to all fall in place. So he could feel really good, but the coaching staff think he looks like hell and can't do it, right?
yeah,
Nope, it's off.
yeah,
He could feel terrible, but looks great. Okay, well, guess what? Then it's off.
yeah,
And so you and I have had plenty of these situations, and I want you to speak on this here for a second about how these kind of triangulation around the injury, how all systems have to be go, and it's kind of not dissimilar to governmental checks and balances, right?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
everything has to like feed off of each other. Please talk on this for a moment.
Exactly. So a lot of the treatment protocol for these now, especially if they're non-op, is casting.
Hmm.
So I got to imagine that he was probably casted for a number of weeks and then got out and has been doing rehab. It goes back to what you're saying though, because I've had situations where guys were casted, good outcome, got back, played great, was fine, was running around, no big deal. And then I've had the other situation where this had to do with a high ankle sprain where the guy was like, I feel great, I feel good, but he looked like shit,
Yeah.
right? And the coaches were like, we're not
Hmm.
doing that. We can't risk you out there. You're not going to be safe and you're not going to be able to
Get somebody else hurt.
defend yourself and vice versa, whatever the cascade of that is. So it's an interesting scenario for him. I got to imagine that he was probably casted and he's probably been practicing all week. If you got that injury report, you can probably see what he's been doing all week. Now, I will say at this point in the season, the practices are not nearly as intense as what they are at the beginning of the year. So, can he do? I got to imagine he's doing a ton of extra rehab, ton of extra functional stuff to get him ready to play in the game. So, go ahead. You were going to say
Well,
something.
no, I was just going to say, here we are again. We should have checked a little bit ahead of time. He was listed as limited all week and now officially listed as out for the game.
Oh, okay. So
So
he's not
now I
playing.
was I knew that he was pushing to play,
Yeah.
but has been listed as out. But again, another guy that if they should choose or if they do make it along, to the Super Bowl. Then he's got 2 more weeks,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
to maybe, round some edges. And maybe it was a situation where he just didn't feel good, or like you say, the coaching staff said he looked like hell, and whatever. Okay, if they make it through this round, now he's at least active. He's available. Perhaps they give it a go. It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
2 more weeks isn't going to make a difference when it comes to surgery if you have to have surgery at the end of the
Yeah.
season. So
Exactly. Exactly.
some pretty interesting stuff, quite frankly, this week going on in the dynamics of do they play, do they not, are they safe,
Yeah.
are they not? So just kind of stuff to watch. And I would encourage people to seek out those situations because there's more in I hate that word, idiosyncrasies there than what meets the eye. So I
Yep.
still think I said it wrong, but we are moving on, Ev. We are in and out for the week, Ev, and I am all the way in. And this was sent to us by a loyal listener of the show. Shout out, you know who you are. Allison dos Santos is a professional bull rider. He is from Brazil. Allison, boy, Ev, these bull riders are something else, man.
They
I'm
are
looking
a
at the
different
picture
breed.
here, and I'm going to put
Yeah.
the picture up, and everybody, I encourage everybody to seek out the video. He was bucked, from his bull, dislocated his shoulder,
Yeah.
unfortunately. All he does, Ev, is he reaches down at his wrist and he relocates his shoulder himself and he
Yep.
walks off the dirt. And I got to tell you, man, that is a tough son of a buck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All those guys are. I
Oh,
mean, if you don't ride, you don't get paid. So it's a whole different ball of wax there.
I mean,
You know.
just to watch the video, he literally just provides that kind of anterior inferior distraction and traction, as it were, on it himself. And he's like, oh no, just walks off.
I would imagine he's done that before. If
Yeah, I would think so. If he's
yeah.
that adept at it, this wasn't a new
Yeah.
one-time thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So pretty cool to watch, to be honest with you. Also, uh, we are going to talk about some social sports med posts of the week, and I wanted to highlight Alan Bishop. Alan Bishop is a well-known strength and conditioning coach at the University of Houston, and he mainly is dealing with their basketball program, kind of a really up-and-coming, I don't want to say dynasty, but man, they are always right there at the
Yeah,
top.
they're good.
Um,
Good team.
if anybody hasn't checked out Alan's social content either on X or Instagram, I don't know if he's on Instagram to be honest with you, but on X he's very prevalent. And he had a post this week about how to get really strong. And his social content game is excellent, by the way. He makes a big list here. And the thing that I wanted to highlight was that it's all basics. Pull from the flow, carry something, push a sled, squat deep, heavy, and often. That tickles us where we like it, Ev.
Oh yeah.
Overhead press, chin ups. And he just kind of goes on and on. And then at the bottom, he says, "Eat like a grown man." And so, I think it's simple, right? You like these types
Yeah.
of things. You like
Yeah.
when people break it down to the basics. So, kudos to Alan. Any commentary here, Ev?
No, he's got great content. He's been there for a few years
Yeah.
now. If you want to have a good follow about just kind of the day in, day out process of S&C with a basketball team, he puts out great stuff. And one of his things I think that he says all the time is if you want to look like a grown man, you got to eat like a grown man.
He's
So
big into the nutrition
he's
thing,
not
man.
wrong. Yeah,
No,
he's
and
not
the
wrong.
great thing about his content is that he posts pictures of the training table, the team meals a
Yeah.
lot. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
pretty cool stuff. Great follow, just for
Yeah.
informational purposes alone.
No doubt. No doubt.
Another great follow that we saw this week is Tyler Lesh. Tyler Lesh is an athletic trainer. He's got quite a history of the places that he's worked. He's got a great social presence. I pulled this from his Instagram. And he's talking about now in the era of NIL, Ev, about how athletic trainers have lost their safety net. And I do encourage everybody to go watch this clip on his Instagram. Obviously, we're going to link Tyler and, we're going to give him full credit for this. But basically, in the time of NIL, when there's so much money at stake with people coming and going, coaches coming and going, players coming and going, that medical staffs, and he referenced strength and conditioning staffs as well, but medical staffs need to really seek out and advocate for themselves. And this is probably a larger talking point than what we can get into tonight. But
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the point hitting home about don't be afraid that just because everybody else might be getting more status, more money, more stature in the program, that the athletic training staff and the medical staff at large needs to advocate for itself because they are just as integral as any other piece. Please
Yeah.
take this away. This is a talking point I know you were waiting for.
No, I want to say too that he's done a great job, especially when he was
Yeah.
at UCLA, of advocating for himself and doing a side gig as
Yep.
well with ARC. So Tyler, shout out to you, man. If you can ever, especially in this profession where you don't have that safety net, and we've tried for years about making this like, hey, the ATs are safe, the medical staff's safe. We're not gonna allow that crossover where coaches are taking somebody somewhere or coaches are coming in and firing the whole staff. Like, he's got that figured out, and he makes a great point about it. And if you're able to, if your hours allow, I would encourage you guys to have some type of side gig with
No,
athletic training if you can,
no
consulting,
doubt.
whatever you can do. Because
Education,
yeah,
consulting,
education,
whatever. A
speaking,
product.
yeah, speaking circuits, whatever you can do, because that makes a huge difference. If something happens to you, if a coach comes in and you get fired, or if a coach wants to clean whatever that may be.
Sure.
So I would encourage you guys, when you do negotiate a contract, if you get to negotiate a contract, to have some sort of clause in there that says, hey, I can go do PRN work on the side, or I can go do consulting work on the side, or I can go to a gym on the weekends and do manual therapy, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Put that in there. Make sure you have something that can capture that, so that you're not left out in the cold if something happens to that position. I 100% agree with him. Shout out Tyler. That's a great point that you made, and a great post.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, it's one of those things where you want to be the good worker, right?
Yeah,
You want to be the
yeah,
good person for the organization. And anymore, especially in college athletics, and obviously it's been that way in pro athletics for a while, but medical staffs aren't the highest paid people in the building, and the ones that are make the decisions, right? So if you have
yeah,
a new coach coming in, they want their people, right?
yeah.
And even, we've talked about it previously on this show that some medical staffs are now aligning with hospital systems, so they
Hmm.
are linked as opposed to hired by the university, they're hired by the hospital system, and so they're a little bit more safer. That's a conversation to have too, right?
Yeah,
Like, hey, can we do something here? That way it saves the athletic department money, so on and so forth. So the take home message, the overall umbrella message is, advocate for yourselves,
yeah,
put yourselves in a position to where you're not going to get put behind the eight ball. Just basically so you're protected and have an umbrella out there, or safety net,
yeah.
excuse me.
Don't give the cow away. We're so used to giving the cow away as athletic trainers. We want to we
Explain that
want
one
to
for me. Give the
we
cow
we
away.
want to we want to do things pro bono and all this other
Yeah.
shit. Like, don't give the cow away.
Don't give the cow. I'm going to use that now.
Yeah. Shout
Um,
out Dave Granito, by the way. He told me that one. So,
Potential future guest of the show, Dave
yeah.
Granito.
Yeah.
Speaking of side hustles, you know what started as a side hustle, Ev?
What?
Cookie Society.
Ah, yes, it did.
Our
Yes, it
good
did.
friends Jeff and Marissa Allen down in the DFW area have started Cookie Society over, I believe, 5 years ago now, 6 years ago, something along those lines. But listen, they are doing it as always, as we talked about last time. They have a brand new spring winter lineup out there, especially for nationwide shipping. We talked about the lemon pound cake. We've talked about the Rice Krispie treats, and the cookie butter has my attention this week. But for listeners of the program, Sports Med Bros 10, that's Sports Med Bros, the number 10, get you 10% off your entire order. Please go support our friends and partners at the Cookie Society.
Oh,
Listen,
yeah.
January's almost over. We all know those New Year's resolutions fail
Yeah, they're
about
coming
this
to an
time
end. Yeah.
or earlier. So, hey, don't be afraid to treat yourself once in a while. Not too
Yeah.
much, just a little bit,
Yeah.
but go visit our friends at the Cookie Society for 10% off.
Yep.
Ev, not unfortunately, Ev, the mail hole is dry.
Yeah.
So here is our call for all mail hole submissions. We need questions, comments, advice, stories. Give us anything you got. Tell us what's
Anything.
cool. Tell us what
Anything.
you're looking at. Tell us what you're trying. Tell us what you want us to try. Products, anything you got out there. Send it our way. At the end of the day, it doesn't even have to be sports medicine related if you just want to tell us a good story and make us laugh. So, but anyway, we need mail hole submissions in 2026. We are out or not timely anymore. So, sportsmedbros at gmail.com, or hit us up on any of our socials. So there's that. I decided to put in a special segment this week, Ev,
Yeah, let's
and we
go.
can talk about this a little bit here. I would like to know your current favorite piece of rehab equipment.
You know, I talked about this last week. The smart cuffs,
Yeah.
the BFR system. That's not very prevalent in the private sector right now. In our small space, we are a small business, so not very prevalent there. But I love the versatility of them. I love the easy use of them, and they've just been great. And I've gotten great feedback with them for
Talk
people that
to,
have never. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, tell the listeners what you like using it the most for. But blood flow restriction in general.
Yeah, post-op,
Post op.
post-op. I've
Yeah.
been using them. Excuse me, post-op ACL.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, right off the bat. Even later in the rehab, right? So I have some kids that are kind of later in the stage of their rehab,
Mhm.
but they still have a little bit of atrophy. So we're just hammering it,
I
you know?
always liked using them as a kind of a finisher to a really good workout to
Yeah,
really get
yeah,
that fatigue onset. Do you
yeah,
have a preferred methodology or set rep scheme that you prefer? I mean, there's a
yeah. So
thousand
I
of them out there, but tell us what you like.
Yeah, so I like them as a warm up, honestly,
Okay.
for heavier volume sessions.
Hmm.
So I'll do, a 30, 15, 15, 15 warm
Yep.
up
Yep.
of squats or split squats or lunges, whatever. Any lower extremity exercise, knee extensions. Yeah, hate on me for the knee extensions on
No, I
on
love knee
BFR.
extensions.
Somebody will. But
Somebody will give us some hate, but that's okay.
yeah, that's fine. But they're so versatile and they're just easy to use, easy to apply, easy to
Mhm.
set up. So I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I think, there's been some controversy recently in some literature about BFR coming out not being any more beneficial than placebo, but then some people kind of came out and debunked the structure of those studies. And so, listen, like anything else, I believe it's a tool in the toolbox. People can
Oh yeah,
choose to use it as they see fit. I think that it's one of those things that nothing in our industry is an end all be all. Nothing is a cure all, right? But if you can give somebody an advantage by using something like a BFR, I'm all for it. I have a set of BFR. I use them all the time. For myself as well.
yeah.
Just real quickly before we move on, do you like them on the contralateral side for systemic effects at all?
Um, I've been doing bilateral stuff. I
Hmm.
really haven't done the contralateral side training.
Yeah.
I've been doing bilateral stuff, and I just have them do both sides.
I see a lot of clinicians do either both, or if it's immediately post-surgical and they can't tolerate it, either due to a wound concern
Yeah,
or just the pain and pressure, to just do a contralateral thing, just for a systemic response. Some people think that they find
yeah,
benefit with that. So I have not used it in that manner. I'm just curious to see others that have. I know a lot of people that we both know do that, so it's interesting. I think that just speaks to the versatility of the modality to begin with, the
yeah,
um, the
100%.
the equipment.
Yeah.
So I like that. Good job there. I'm gonna go a little bit more meatheadish, and so I'm gonna say I love the landmine, Ev. And for
Oh yeah,
those that don't know
that's a
what a
good one too.
landmine is,
Yeah,
it is a fancy barbell that has been put in a sheath attached to oftentimes what looks like a home plate made out of metal.
yeah,
Others may have an attachment on their squat rack. Some people make them at home and they just use a barbell and they shove a towel down into a corner of a
yeah,
wall kind of situation. I've done all of those in people's homes, by the way. The great part about the landmine is it's an upper body thing, it's a lower body thing, it's a rotary thing. You really are only confined by your creativity.
yeah,
And so that's
100%.
why I like it. It's so versatile. You can load it, you can keep it just the bar, you can do partial range of motion, you can do full range of motion, you can do combined movements in rotary patterns.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you have a whole lot of exposure with landmines at your clinic?
Yeah, so I actually have a barbell bomb, and
Hmm.
it's one that goes on it's like a big, looks like a looks like a bomb, like an
Yeah.
old school
Yeah.
bomb that with a
Orb.
little, yeah, with a globe that
Yeah.
goes on the end of the barbell, and we put it on there,
Hmm.
and you can do. I mean, I don't even know how much they are,
They're
15
cheap.
bucks on,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's super. I mean, you just put it against the wall, and it doesn't roll too much, and
Yeah.
it's
Same
it's great.
concept. Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
I think, just like I said, the versatility and all that, um, you know, eh, especially for places that are operating in small spaces,
Yeah.
or limited budgets. I think it has
Yeah.
worked very well for a home gym. It works very well for. So,
Yeah.
if you don't know what a landmine is, go check it out. If you need advice on how to use them, hit us up.
Yeah.
I literally have thousands of exercises for landmine that I use with my clients. So,
Yep.
cool. Very good. Ev, we are going to land this plane a little bit early of Friday happy hour. Happy hour's ending.
Yeah.
The appetizer specials are closing
It's
down.
over. Yeah. The drink
The two for
specials are
ones.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you got going on this freezing weekend?
Well, we're apparently supposed to get about a foot of snow
Lovely.
here tomorrow night into Sunday. So I have my nephew's birthday party tomorrow
In the snow.
afternoon. Well, I don't know if it's going to start snowing then, but um, not going to be a whole lot going on. Got to clean out the chicken coop. Chicken coop's a mess right now. Got to get
What
the
do you do with the
feathers.
chickens during winter?
So I have a heater in the coop. I've got a
Okay.
coop heater. I got an extension, like 100-foot extension cord running out of the back of my house to the coop. They got a heater in there. They're warm. They're safe. They're comfortable. So
What
got to
we haven't
clean
had
that
a
out though.
chicken update in a while. How are the eggs going?
We have fully stopped laying eggs because of the daylight. So the limited daylight hours affect laying schedules. So
No kidding.
yeah, once the spring rolls around and the daylight hours get
I
longer,
did not know that.
we'll get more eggs. But we haven't had eggs in a few couple months now
Really?
because of the daylight, limited
Huh.
daylight.
How about
So
that?
yeah,
Well, I too am girding up for winter apocalypse,
yeah,
beginning sometime this evening overnight. Here, we started off as getting 1 to 3, then it went from 3 to 5, and then stair stepped up. They say anywhere from 5 to 9 tonight. But it's going to snow on again, off again all weekend, and more so than that, here it's just going to be this like ridiculously cold. Like
yeah,
I think Sunday the high is like 8 and the low is like -7 or something.
yeah.
But but I was gifted a new snowblower for Christmas.
Oh man,
And so we
lucky
are gonna
you,
bust that puppy out.
son of a buck.
And I might do the neighbors. I might do the whole block if I'm
Yeah,
having fun.
yeah,
Just people helping people out here. That's
yeah.
what we're
That's
doing.
great. That's
But
great.
toys. Now I got to
Yeah,
find a place to store it. I haven't put it together yet, but I got to find a place to store it. But listen, that's a great time to land a plane. Happy hour has closed. They are flashing the lights.
yep,
Please, I've noticed that many of you are liking some of the podcast websites, so we do appreciate that. Please tell some friends, not two friends, just one friend, maybe
just
two if you'd
one.
like.
Yeah.
But spread the word. Follow us on our new YouTube channel,
Oh yeah.
and come check us
We're
out
right
there
here, man. We're right here,
where
right
we
in the
are
camera.
clipping things off every week and putting some stuff on socials for everybody to enjoy. But please come check us out. Leave a comment, leave something in the mail hole. Just let us know what's up. And Ev, we will be back next week after we're talking about some Super Bowl stuff potentially here
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
coming
we're
weeks.
getting there.
I will tell everybody that we do have some guests lined up. I got to reach back out and firm up some dates, but February we'll have more guests, not just us two talking to each other and yourselves. So, everybody, any parting words before we sign off tonight, Ev?
No, have a good night. Survive the snow apocalypse that's about to just destroy the Midwest and some of the South, apparently, right?
Yeah,
Like
we'll see.
Southeast,
We'll see
whatever.
who's left
I don't.
standing after the weekend, and
Yeah, I
you
think
know.
we'll all be fine.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.